Welcome to my channel BornToReddit. I am the CEO. Bear with me here people, I'm on mobile. About a year ago, I was running a small video game tournament in the small company I owned. The wait list had a full list of 16 people, and it was fine until one person ruined it for all. EP, entitled parent, EK, entitled Karen, me, LMAO. So we were starting up the games when a dad ran into the store with his son. EP, we're here for the tournament. Me, oh sorry, but the list is full. EP, well then, make some room. Me, I can't do the. EP, listen, I can get you fired with the push of a button. Me, how? EP, I have been friends with the CEO of this company for a long time. Me, then call him. I watch him make a fake phone call then hang up. EP, he says you're fired. Me, that's funny, considering I am the CEO. EP's look of shock still makes me laugh to this day. I will never understand why people still try to use that excuse, it never works, you'd think they'd realize their own stupidity. LMAO, as soon as he said he could get me fired, I'm like MHM. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see how this works out. Karen gets mad and accuses my baby of being gay. So I have read a lot of stories in here and never really experienced anything close to what I would read about in his sub, but then I had a kid and have apparently become a Karen magnet. The story is me and a wild Karen in a baby lounge / baby room / breastfeeding area. So I'm changing my DS, 5 months, and he had a huge poo explosion all the way up his back. Sigh. So I grab what I had in my diaper bag, and it was a pink bodysuit with only pink socks left. We thought we were having a girl at first and got surprised by a boy, so I saved most of it, but some items like socks and few neutral pink onesies I use for him. He is in his pink bodysuit and socks. He is feeding and having a great time when a woman approaches. She had been breastfeeding across from me. Karen, such a cute baby, what's the name? Me, it's Jonathan. Karen, shocked Pikachu face, you really shouldn't put pink on a boy. Me, confused, why? He doesn't mind at this age. Karen, I know things are more alternative here in this country. But stuff like that will turn your kid gay. Me, I don't care if he is gay. Karen, gets out a black onesie from her bag, here you can put this on him. Me, didn't you hear me? I don't care, at this point my boy is upset so I pack our stuff and leave. Karen, as we leave, frick off then you and your homo son. I was just gobsmacked. What in the world goes through a person's head to think it's okay? So this was my day. Just needed to vent. Why do people think blue is for boys only and pink is for girls only? It used to be the other way around cause they saw pink as hot and aggressive and blue as calm and gentle, but around the 40s or 50s marketing started to go the other way with pink being feminine and blue being masculine as part of their campaigns, and in those days, if you didn't fit in it was pretty much social and financial suicide. The funny thing is that I used to love pink, way back when I was 5, but I love green. Wife met her first Karen. So this just happened 10 minutes ago, and I got the story from my wife due to me being 400 kilometers away. She is at work and called me to ask what is going on with my pay, company fucked up so not getting my overtime, straight face, and as I tell her what is happening this lady walked in. My wife works as a receptionist at a doctor's office. Now this lady had the haircut, though I want to speak to your manager attitude, and a sit-eating grin. EP equals entitled parent. W equals wife. Me equals laughing my butt off at this whole thing. EP, is the doctor in? W, no he only comes in from 9 to 12 due to being over 80, damn dude go and retire please. EP, well that is very rude and unprofessional, I mean come on bit he is 80. EP, what if there is an emergency? W, then you have to go to the ER room at the hospital due to his only being a clinic and not equipped with the needed medical equipment. EP, listen you little shit, you don't have to be rude. W, ma'am I am not being rude, she can't be rude, bless her pure golden heart. EP, stop talking back you bit. W, starts to cry please ma'am I was not being rude. EP, I don't care what you say. I will be putting a complaint against you." She left and my wife called me in tears and I told her you survived a wild Karen. She laughed at this. And that is her first encounter, and she handled it like a champ. Kudos to my wife. I do not care if you have cancer, my child deserves your seat. This encounter happened about 7 months ago. I do not want to insult your intelligence, because you most likely already know what EM and me stands for, but I should say that EK in this story stands for embarrassed kid and OG stands for old gentleman, 60-some-year-old guy. The kid was very polite and sorry, so this story isn't about him. Also, I'm translating this into English, so bear with me. A little backstory: about a year ago, I was diagnosed with a cancer of the nasal cavity, stage 2. The tumor was quite large, but thankfully benign. Edit: people have pointed out I formulated this wrong. By benign, I wanted to shorten the fact it still did not spread into other tissue, thus it was still contained, which is what I thought the word meant. I apologize for my gaps in knowledge. To get it removed, I first had to undergo aggressive chemotherapy to make it smaller. Thanks to the chemo, I had severe alopecia, hair loss, which made most of my hair, and even eyebrows and eyelashes fall out. At some point I had to go bald, but I wore a wig, because I didn't want to look like a skinhead / neo-Nazi. I'm 6 feet 4 inches and pretty muscular, so I thought people would assume. So once, after a long chemo session in the hospital, I took the bus home. There's only one bus that goes from the hospital to where I live, so I took that one only to see it was absolutely packed. I felt like sit thanks to the chemo, so I asked a middle-aged dude to let me sit. He was very understanding and gave me his spot without complaining. If you're reading this, thanks bro. 2 stops later, enter EM, a lovely whale with an I demand a parley with the CEO haircut and a 12-some-year-old kid. It took her roughly 5 seconds to see the bus was packed, start looking for a free seat, spot me and start marching, or in her case, trying to fit in the aisle between the seats while shoving others aside, to me. When I saw her, I knew I was screwed. She then stood next to me and decided to talk to me. This is the conversation that followed. EM, hey, could you let my kid sit down? Me, you mean me? EM, who else? Me, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm on my way from the hospital and EM, cutting me off, so are we, nonsense. The stop was a few kilometers away from the hospital, my boy just broke his leg and we're coming straight from the ER, her kid was standing next to her, without any support, clearly embarrassed. Me, he's standing next to you completely fine. EM, look here boy, I am 21 years old, my kid deserves to sit down. Me, look madam, I'm sorry, but I just got back from a chemo session in the hospital and I need to sit down and rest. I then moved my wig a bit to let her see my bald head. EM then straight up started yelling in my face. EM, stop making excuses and get off the freaking seat, you freaking skinhead piece of shit. At this point, I was baffled. I didn't know what to say. The kid was trying to make his mother stop, and we had the attention of the whole bus. She then grabbed me and tried to yank me from my seat. I held on tight and thankfully didn't fall off. Now, enter OG, my savior. OG, will you shut the frick up, you dumb cow? M, who do you think you're talking to? OG, with ice-cold voice, stop assaulting other passengers, or I will be forced to step in. Also, every dumb moron could see that the dude has cancer. EM, NO, he's just a freaking skinhead. OG, he's got NO eyebrows, UTWAT. Seems like that really offended EM, because she spun around on the spot and threw a falcon punch in OG's face. I was shocked and in disbelief. The whole bus was flabbergasted, and the kid probably wished he'd never been born. OG then said something unbelievable, and a golden, sweet karma moment followed. OG, okay, that does it. Harassing passengers on the bus, physical assault against a passenger, and now assaulting an officer. You're in deep trouble, lady. OG then pulled out a badge and told her to stay where she was. Then he pulled out his phone, called someone and told her she was being arrested. I couldn't believe it, OG was a bloody cop. At this point, EM was as white as a wall. The bus had just come to a stop, so she decided she'd make a run for it, but other passengers blocked her way. She then also got charged with resisting arrest thanks to this. 3 stops later, a police car was waiting for the EM and EK. EK told me he was sorry for his mother's behavior, and I felt really sorry for the kid. He wasn't a bad child, but his mother was a hell spawn. OG then talked to me and asked me if I wanted to press charges, to which I gladly said yes, took a statement, and thankfully was kind enough to let me solve everything on the phone, so I didn't have to come to the police station for questioning. In the end, EM got some jail time, I think it was a few months, and some community service. I in return, got a good story to tell and the sweet taste of instant karma. Right now, I'm riding the same bus home, as I just got back home from the hospital after a checkup, which reminded me of this. A friend, who's sitting next to me, told me I should post it here. He, as much as myself, also couldn't believe that such people existed, but it seems I proved it to him. And don't forget, subscribe now or Karen will ask for your manager.